Right. The previous video, I wasn't paying attention and I let it cut off on me before I finished. Essentially, the whole point of the video, which should be titled something along the lines of, I can has update now, please? Or something inane like that. The whole point of that previous video was basically a plea, a desperate plea to A&E, A&D to throw us a frickin' bone so that we'd get some actual good information to speculate with, and hopefully that will put an end to the rampant inanity which is going on. Please, those of you out there who want to know what's going on with Halloween Horror Nights, I do too, and I want to help you. But please, when you do get good information from a decent source, don't just ignore it and go back to silly things that people said 2 months ago and start speculating on shadows of the past and movies and everything else that we've been told now isn't going to happen. Please, please, because that way lies madness. And you don't want to drive poor old Dr. Jimmy over into that psychoscarapy. No, please. So, as I was coming to the conclusion of the previous video, I was talking about what we do know. Because people want me to tell them what I know about Halloween Horror Nights. This is it. This is what I know. I'll recap what I said before. What we know. We know that there are not going to be any recap houses from previous years. They're not going to bring back rerun houses. They're not going to have movie-based property houses this year. They're not doing that. So those are two things they're not doing. We know the icons may be back, but not like they were in Sweet 16. Except the way Jack was used that year. Previously he'd been in a fun house, and they brought him back in a sanitarium. Okay? Now the sanitarium had been used in the past. So this would be like, say you have Jack and you'd put him in a totally new situation that has never been used in the past, perhaps. That is closer to what might happen. But even that we're not completely sure about. But we are sort of expecting to see some of our icon friends back, but not rehashes of old houses. What we also know is based on a few tidbits of leaked information. I mentioned the Greek mythology thing at the end of the previous thing. And as I was saying, it seems to me that rather than some sort of Disney Fantasia scene with little cherubs and cupids and Pegasuses flying about in the sky while scampering fawns and centaurs are splashing about below, if you want to see that, you better hike over to Not So Scary at the other place. Because this is Halloween Horror Nights, so what we're going to have is supposed to be something horrible, horrific, scary, and evil. So the only thing in Greek mythology that fits that is, of course, Hades in the underworld, and that's what I strongly suspect, since the very name Hades is right there in the clue. Well, that's probably what we're going to see. That's just my guess. Now, getting wet myself up again. Now, there's other clues. We know a house will feature at least one recurring character. The most recurring character throughout the entire history of Halloween Horror Nights will be back in a haunted house in the parade building, and that will be the Rat Lady. Now, the Rat Lady has been used in houses and out of houses every darn year of Halloween Horror Nights, from original use in 1991's Fright Nights in the Haunted House Dungeon of Terror, to most recently where they put a Whoville nose on her face and made her into part of Cirque du Freak. And that scares them. So, the Rat Lady has proven to be extremely flexible and can be used in many various manners. In fact, she was once put into the Fear Factor house of all things. So we don't know what that house will be. Doesn't mean that house is going to be Dungeon of Terror retold again. Doesn't mean that. And from what we've heard, probably won't. All we know is that Rat Lady will be in the house and there'll also be a vortex. So what could that possibly entail? Yeah. Furthermore, another house has an observation deck. This could be an observation deck in a tall building. It has been suggested it could be on a ship. It is suggested, I suggested it might be in a submersible. It could be like a submarine, like or a bathysphere or something like that. Someone else has suggested an operating theater in a hospital, although that's been done before. Most recently in 2008 in Body Collectors of the Past. So I don't think that's what they were going to be going for if they're trying to avoid repeating themselves too much, as we have heard. But whatever that could mean, we have no idea. An observation deck alone doesn't tell us anything. A museum hallway doesn't tell us anything. A staircase in one room, a house in a soundstage will have a staircase. That doesn't tell us anything. It doesn't tell us it's going to be a two-story house. Please, some people are going bonkers on a two-story house notion. No. Because there's been many. There's an upper level where effects happen, or stairs go up, but you don't get to go up them. We don't know what those houses are going to be like. We just have this barest, tiny tidbit. A van, what could that mean? People want to make it into a movie, and so I think about movies with vans. When we've been told it will be no movie. So it could be a surfer van, it could be a soccer mom van, it could be just some dude's van. It doesn't have to be something you saw in some movie. Burnt wood. Who knows? Fires. Could be anything. So it's the tiny scanty information that we do know tells us almost nothing. So once again, as I was trying to get across in the previous update, in my own lolcat manner, as I titled it, I'm going to make the most pathetic eyes I can. Begging eyes. Please, Universal Department of Publicity and websites putting out to inform us about the events. Please, I beg you, please, give us an update soon, like today, maybe tomorrow, or tonight, make it tonight. Please, we need an update. We need a freaking update. Otherwise, all these people on the websites are just going to keep posting the most silly damn shit and drive poor Dr. Jimmy completely mental. And you don't want that to happen, do you, nice people at Universal? Because then a demented Dr. Jimmy will be stalking Halloween Horror Nights this year. And you'd have to wipe up all the drool. Oh well. That's enough of this crap. I hope this satisfies some of you who want a video. But again, I just have no real information. If this update does happen sometime soon, then I'll be able to do a much better video about that information. And then you'll be happy, right? So please, bring up the update.